Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, salamanders, Komodo dragons, ducks, chickens, whales, all types of mammals. What's up, world? It's the PALs. The PALs, yes. The Professionals and Animal Lover Show. PALs, your show, our community that we are building together. Who is speaking? Well, it's your boy, the nonprofit sector connector, Tommy D, coming at you from the top of my house in my attic. And my sergeant at arms, all things advocacy, my pal, Val. What is up, Valerie? What's up, kid?
Wow. I love our music so much. I love our introductory song, you know, the one that just plays right before the show starts. It's like very soothing, very compassionate, very us.
That's why I'm so calm. It's from that song. That got me. It got me so mellowed out. Like, you got to see me before that song, everybody. I was very high strung. Maybe I drank too much coffee. I don't think so, because there's more on my desk to be drank or drunk.
Oh, boy.
I don't know
I think you should switch to water at this point.
I have water. I have water also. Every week on this show, we do three things. We learn, we educate. Val, what's the third?
We advocate.
We do advocate, and we are advocates. And I used to be a junior advocate, but now I'm all grown up. Look at me. I'm a big boy advocate. But no, well, yes. But here's the thing. It's about learning together. It's about bringing people on this show that are going to teach us and teach you all. And then it's about getting out there. I will tell you, last night I happened to be at a nonprofit event for the Scott J. Beagle Foundation, Memorial Foundation. Linda Beagle Schulman, Michael Schulman, so great to meet you both last night. And being at that event, I called Valerie at like 11 o'clock last night. I'm like, Val, I'm hobnobbing with all these politicians. And back in the day, I didn't really know why I would meet politicians or why I would be connecting with politicians. But now I know, because I'm an advocate and I'm learning about how to make an impact in this regard. I've always said, Tommy D, how are you going to add value? How are you going to make an impact? Well, this is certainly part of that. So this show has been a real eye-opener for me. I keep learning every week. We have two exciting guests here today. Before we get into this conversation, I got to give one more shout out to my friend Deb Jeanette, who came on the other show I do here on the network called Philanthropy and Focus. And why is this relevant? Well, because she's having a duck derby. Okay, a duck derby. Now, John DiLeonardo, I love you, my brother. They're not real ducks. They're little, like the rubber duckies. And they're going to I'm going to read. It's in Argyle Park out in Babylon. It's June 25th. That's out here in Long Island. It's June 25th. I will be out there with my crew. And you can adopt the ducks. Again, they're rubber ducks. But you can adopt the ducks, and it's to raise money for the Veterans Yoga Project, which is a really special organization. And on my other program, Deb came on, Philanthropy and Focus. And the whole month of July on that show, we're going to be talking about veterans. Six different veteran nonprofits. So we cross promote because I'm on both shows.
I want to say that there's also a duck derby in Greenville, South Carolina.
No kidding.
And it's incredible. Hi, by the way, my cat needs to say hello.
Hello there, cat.
Hi, Phoebe. So yeah, it's a great fun way to, raise money for great causes, as long as everyone picks their ducks up in the end. But also, Tommy, I want to mention just briefly what the show is all about.
This episode or PALs altogether?
No, altogether, because I think it's important for if we have any new listeners. The premise is very simple, and it's that animal lovers pretty much instantly love other animal lovers. And if you've ever seen us at a party or, at even a networking event, when someone starts talking about their pets or their volunteerism or whatever, they're gone. That's the conversation for like the entire night. You know what I mean? And what we're doing here is we're building a community so that we can all learn about how to support each other. And that includes in business, because all things being equal, if I want pizza and I know a pizzeria owner who has supported anti-puppy mill bill legislation and puts flyers of adoptable dogs on his pizza boxes, I'm going to that guy. I'm going to
shout out to Reno. She's talking about you, Reno. She's talking about you, Reno DiMaria. Joanne's Gourmet. And Val, I got to cut you off because in 43 years, I turned 44 in January, and in 43 years, I've eaten a lot of pizza. I live on Long Island, gang. Right? People say, "Oh, you're Italian, right?" I go, "Well, I'm from Franklin Square. Like, I've never been to Italy yet, right? So I don't know, right? I'm not that I'm not claiming Italy, but I never been there. So, like, actually, people moved here from Italy. I moved here from Franklin Square. So the thing I'm saying is, I've eaten a lot of pizza. I have never, until my 44th year, because my co-host, my buddy, my pal, sent me a pickle pizza from Reno's Joanne's Gourmet Pizza, and I will tell you, sounds like something you might not like, but it was delicious. And in fact, I think I got to send one down to Dr. Bewell half, because I know he was all jealous because Valerie sent me the pie.
He
We
was
call-
so
pie.
jealous.
He was so jealous, but I've told you this before. Funny thing about it is you didn't just send me that pie, you sent me a regular pie.
Right.
And I don't even want to get into the thing that we call it pie. And my friend thought I wanted an apple pie because he was from Massachusetts. Another story. But you sent me a regular pie that day. And since then, I tell you the truth. I mean, that was January, 6 months ago. If we've ordered one, we've ordered 50 pies from Reno because my kids and my wife like that pie. And it's close to my house, but there's 15 pizzerias between my house and Reno's. But we order that pie a lot.
So
I can tell you want to move on. I know how this goes.
it's just, I just want to wrap up the point, because this is a time where more and more people are, and I'm grateful for it, are paying attention to what their consumer dollars are supporting. People want to know the person behind the company. They want to know that, if you're an environmentalist, maybe that's your cause, whatever your cause is. But for us, this is obviously for the animals. And if I need a lawyer, it's a real estate lawyer. And I know that this lawyer is also joined us on call nights for, to try to make a difference for the animals. I'm going with that lawyer. So anyway, I encourage you all to do the same and to get to know our community. So here we go. I'm so excited. We have two great guests and animal advocates. Yay! Hold on. Yay! On the show.
Pom-poms. Peggy's here, Ginny's here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
From Long Island Dog Owners Group, LI Dog, with the best acronym like ever. And
thank you.
Yeah. So welcome. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
To be here.
So let's jump in. I mean, tell us a little bit about Long Island Dog. And I mean, you guys have been around a long time, since 1998. How did this come about?
Yeah, so we were, it came about with a group of dog owners at Quandra Hall up in Huntington. At the time, the park rangers were coming there all the time to give out tickets for having their dogs off leash. And dog owners got together to try to work with Suffolk County, which manages the park, to create an official off-leash area there, so that they could be there legally, without having to deal with being ticketed. And I joined the group in 2002 because I was taking my dog to Quandra Hall all the time. And again, the park rangers were a constant concern that they'd be there and be handing out tickets. I went to my first meeting then in 2002, and at that meeting met all these other people who were as passionate about dogs as I was. And I knew I'd found my group.
So let me ask you a question. Let me just jump in real quick, Ginny, because I want to understand, like, this was just a bunch of folks hanging out initially, right?
Yes,
and sort of found each other, and it wasn't necessarily like a nonprofit or an association or anything. It was just like, I got dogs, you got dogs, we should be friends. And right, is that how it happened?
That is how it happened. Finally, in about 2002, 2003, we realized that we needed to be a formal organization. And we formed Friends of Long Island Dog Parks in 2004, kind of to be the main organization to deal with Suffolk County, on this park. Then, 2 years later, we got approval from the IRS as a 501c3, a nonprofit. So that's how we became a formal organization. And when we became a formal organization, we expanded our mission to go beyond just that one park and to, you know, try to create dog parks throughout Suffolk County and then Nassau County, because we realized that just one park was just not enough to meet.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Long Beach for I don't know how many years. God, I love that apartment. Anyway, I remember back then that there was an effort. Now this was dealing with the city of Long Beach. They have their own board and legislators. And I could have sworn though that they thought they were going to get one block, one beach block. I think it was Grand. And everybody was like all excited. I mean, the truth is people, they're gonna kind of, you know, sneak on if you don't give them the access, because they want their dogs to be able to enjoy the beach. You know, many dogs love the beach, they love water. And I just don't understand, like, what's the pushback? What do they say to you? What's their reason?
Go ahead, Peggy.
Well, there's many reasons, and we've actually tried to go back and say, you know, when did these laws, you know, where did the law come from? And it was almost an impossibility actually to find a law, or when it happened. I almost think it was like it just always was, kind of like the earth, you know, it's like it's just always been here. But once upon a time, dogs ran loose all over the place, right? I mean, when I was a kid, you know, the dogs they were all loose, you know, they used to run around, hang out, they did anything. I think it became much more strict as people, you know, as those rules were really enforced. You know, dogs have to be, you know, leashed, they have to be in the yard, they have to be that, you know, when all of that started to become much more prevalent across the island, the others were there. So now people are starting to look for places to go and have fun with their dog. There are none. So it's just this weird thing. We were never really able to pinpoint, you know, this is a date and this is when a law went on the books.
But but if I get interrupted, Peggy, because I don't have a dog. So I've never been up against walking into a park and going and getting turned away. So like, I want to set it up for people who have not experienced that.
Right.
So the experience, if I'm hearing correctly, is like, as Ginny was talking about, you know, a Condrey Hall out in Huntington, being ticketed. So like, this is, so if I'm a dog owner, I get to the park and I'm not welcome, or I'm welcome, my dog just isn't welcome, right? Then I'm turned away, and what I'm hearing is the problem was there was nowhere to go. It wasn't like you just can't go here, but go across the street. There's nowhere for you. Wow.
Right. That's exactly right. And what happened, we had some people, actually one of them is a member of our board. But when I first joined LI Dog, you know, many years ago, at this point, my husband and I adopted a dog. Now, I never gave it any thought. I never even, our grandkids were around. We're like, let's go to the park. The park's, you know, 5 minutes down the road. Let's go to the park. We'll take the dog. Let's everybody go to the park. And we couldn't go to the park because the dog was, I was like, oh, I never noticed that sign before. Right. Oh my gosh.
It was it's not relevant. If it's not relevant to us, that's what I'm trying to just point out here. It's like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Exactly. You don't realize. We said, well, you know what? There's a playground over here on the school. Let's go over there. And then you see the big sign that says, nobody allowed on the field. No dogs allowed. No. And I was like, okay, I'm sure I've seen people walk dogs before. Where the heck are we supposed to go? So yeah, it was a strange thing. And so what the town, or, you know, around here would say, well, I guess you can walk in the street. And I'm like, well, I'm not walking and getting run over every morning. There has to be a solution, a little bit, you know, a little bit.
So we do have to take a break, which is, I love cliffhangers. So ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next. No, I'm just kidding. We won't be back. We will be back next week, but we'll be back in 90 seconds to answer that, because we've established that there's a big challenge, or there was a challenge, there's a problem. And it's a team like yours, right? Margaret Mead, never underestimate the fact that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has, right? So here's another small group of committed citizens changing the world. And when we get back from commercial break, we're going to find out how they change the world. This is PALS, right?
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business, or SMB guy. and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant. And on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you on edge? Hey, we live in challenging, edgy times, so let's lean in. I'm Sandra Bargman, the host of The Edge of Every Day, which airs each Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc. Tune in live with me and my friends and colleagues as we share stories and perspectives about pushing boundaries and exploring our rough edges. That's The Edge of Every Day on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
We are back. This is PALS, the Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. Wow, radio guy voice. I love when I do radio guy voice. All right, so listen to this. LI Dog, okay, works to create dog parks, increase access to public parkland and beaches for Long Island dog owners and their dogs. People with dogs. I learned that earlier in the green room. We were talking about that. This organization was formed or founded in 1998. And it was founded because, you know what, it's great when we have ideas and we want to go talk to politicians, but when we have an entity, it's a lot easier. When we have structure, when we have people, when we have community, right, and we have business cards even, we get their ear a little more, right? They're paying attention to what we're saying because we're representing a group of their constituents. Val, what's another word for constituents?
Taxpayers.
And people who vote for you. Yes, exactly. Yes, taxpayers and people who can help you stay in office if you are a politician. So we have Ginny and Peggy here from the organization creating trails and 100 parks, working to create almost 100 parks for on-leash dogs, right? Is that part of the goal?
No.
Okay. Then what did I read here? I hold on. More recently, I worked with Huntington Trails Committee and the town department to open the town's almost 100 parks. So we're working on that. I sometimes I summarize my notes and I only gave half the story there. But I just wanted to set it up right before we went to a break. We set up the problem. Okay, there was a lack of space, lack of access. So what happened next? You started to do this. You create this entity. Tell us that story, please. Peggy, Ginny, whoever wants to take it.
Let me start because we started in Suffolk County, which is where I live. And what really got things rolling was a particularly bad incident with a park ranger back in 2006. And we ended up writing a letter to the county executive, the Suffolk County executive, and told him that the situation was intolerable and that there needed to be an attitude change on the part of Suffolk County towards dogs in parks.
Good.
And a couple months after we sent that letter, we started working with the Suffolk County legislator, Steve Stern at the time. He had just come back from a trip to California where he had seen how wonderful those off-leash areas are. And he was very interested in trying to do the same for Suffolk County. And so we started working with him on legislation to direct the Parks Department to create new dog parks in Suffolk County. And what really kind of was the kicker that got things really going was that the county executive, the following April 2017, threw his support behind the legislation and passed unanimously in the Suffolk County Legislature. And the legislation specifically directed the Parks Department to create at least 5 new dog parks in Suffolk County. And
That's
Yay.
awesome. Val, where's your pom poms? Where's his yay? How about some pom poms? There it is. Wait, so
All right.
I want to ask this. Val, let me just ask one question. I just want to ask one quick question. I swear, I won't ask another question for the whole day. That's not true. Is it like there? I've been in some parks that are really, really massive. Like, I don't know, Eisenhower Park, right here in Nassau County. Like, when you're not asking for a ton of space here, right? You're asking for some area for these animals to run around, right? Talk to me about what the ask is, because it seems like, again, I use Eisenhower as an example, or Christopher Morley, or some of the. I'm not as familiar with the Suffolk County parks, but there's a ton of space out there. So what exactly were you asking for?
When
Well,
we
we ask
worked
the
in
world and we get a little tiny bits.
I hear it.
in Suffolk County, we specifically asked for 2-acre parks. And that it was much bigger than Nassau County had created 4 or 5 very small dog parks already back like in 2000.
Okay.
In Suffolk County, there was a very small 1/3 of an acre dog run in West Hills County Park. And again, we felt they were totally overused, totally, overrun. And so we were asking for 2-acre parks in Suffolk County. And we got 1.5 acres in many cases, 3 acres in one case. The dog parks in Nassau County are a little smaller because we have a smaller area to work with. Peggy can talk to those efforts as well. You can talk about the Eisenhower Dog Park, in fact,
Yeah. Sorry, Eisenhower Dog Park was about a 5-year process of working with county officials.
Wow.
And I think some of the problem on Long Island is, you were talking about Long Beach is a city, and the town of Oyster Bay. And then within the town of Oyster Bay, you have the village of so-and-so, and then you have the village of this, and then you have, so you often don't really know who you're working with. When you see a park, you say, oh, this would be perfect.
Right.
And then you realize that park is really not a Nassau County park. It might be a village park, it might be a state park, it might be this park or that park. So you have to, there's a lot of layers to get to where you really need to get to.
So what you're saying is there's too many layers in government.
I
agree.
Peggy, don't let her do that to you. She's trying to trick you, Peggy. Don't let her do that to you.
No, I'll say it. I will absolutely stand by that. But I need to ask,
because we'll have people come to us at some of our meetings and they'll say, well, such and such a park. And it's like, yeah, but that, this meeting is about, I don't know, Nassau County specific. And that particular park is not. It's part of it. It's a village. So you can take the same methods and you can work the same way. You're just working with different people. So it's a huge networking event, process to try to connect to the right people. And then people are voted in, they're voted out, they leave, and then you're be starting over again sometimes from scratch. And you're always looking for somebody who likes dogs.
I have a few questions. Absolutely. And that's what I have. I think you guys might know, an advocacy group. It's registered with the New York State Board of Elections. We're not a 501 because I wanted the ability to support, endorse candidates or incumbents based on if they do anything for the animals, right? So the best example, of course, was the anti-puppy mill bill that just passed. We need those people to be compassionate leaders. But on your with your conversations with legislators, I'm just curious because I know, money, right? Do they understand, or do you, part of your presentation, is it part where you say something about potential revenue for what recreational parks can do for revenue for dogs?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, when it comes to dog parks, we have talked to elected officials about the possibility of, levying a fee, to use the dog park or whatever. But you know what? It costs money to put those systems in, the key card system or whatever. So they end up kind of really not doing it. And then when we're looking to create access to a park, like a trail or even to a beach, that doesn't cost anything doesn't cost doesn't
Right.
cost the jurisdiction any money. So, yes, we certainly can talk about bringing more people into the park. Certainly, we do pack walks at Sands Point Preserve and Old Westbury Gardens, these, beautiful
Yeah.
places that charge money. We bring people in,
Yeah.
to go to those events.
See, I love this because I try to take a business approach when also advocating so that it makes extra sense to the elected officials. They love being able to point to something and say, hey, this is going to help us make money and whatever. But
some of the things that we
I-
asked Valerie when we, like Ginny said, we talked about a key city. We did talk about ways, but in a few of the parks that I was involved in, they didn't really want to do that because you're almost charging a double fee then, right? I mean, I'm a taxpayer.
No, but here's an
to
example.
come in and then I'm paying for the park. And it was more that the town's officials preferred the goodwill. I mean, this is another offering, an amenity that this beautiful park is offering to our residents. And that really had more pull than a money stream.
I understand. However, they could, example, there's an event coming up, I believe this week. I just saw it. It's a stand-up paddle boarding event with your dog. It's $40 in East Quogue. Okay.
Sure.
So they could take, if I'm running an event and it's a pet-friendly event at a park, I will probably have to pay a fee to rent that space. You know what I mean? But additionally, and this to me is a more important point, so bear with me on this one, rough drafts, but the reason that all of these laws exist, keeping your dog on the leash, etc., is because unfortunately sometimes when dogs get out, there have been injuries, right? So the irony is that dog parks provide a very important benefit, which is the socialization of dogs.
Right.
Because that will help reduce personal injuries, attacks, dog on dog attacks, whatever. So this, I believe,
make that case.
Okay, good. Yeah.
We make that always. And socialization, exercise, socialization.
Yes.
Great. But there are responsibilities to using a dog park correctly as well. So you need to be careful. I mean, it's not a one fit for everybody. Just like a soccer field is not a one fit for somebody who wants to play basketball. So a dog park is not. It's why they're wonderful. There are other ways to enjoy a park with your dog, and that's why we got so involved in on leash walking. We'll keep our dog by our side, but we'd love to have a nice. Enjoy a nice trail walk.
Yep.
So they love dog parks, but like I said, they're not a one fix for everyone.
Right. Yeah,
they are a lot of fun.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll tell you, I think it's also good for local businesses.
Absolutely.
I mean, I went to, what the heck's that famous place in Provincetown. Thank you.
Right.
Anyway, massive dog town. You can't go anywhere without seeing dogs. Everyone's walking. You walk into an art gallery. There was an art gallery with dog art. Everything was like a painting of a dog, whatever. Anyway, but I mean, you're walking in and out of restaurants with dogs, and there's just dogs everywhere. That city there is booming. Their downtown district and everything. Their restaurants, their stores. I mean, it is a tremendous draw.
Yes, absolutely. I believe that we have to make some more businesses in this area aware of that. We did actually have there was a park which now exists, but there were two locations of two ideas, and they actually moved it a little bit further away from the business district. I always thought that was a mistake for the businesses.
Yeah.
You don't realize what kind of revenue that street could have brought into ice cream parlors and arcades and stuff like that.
Absolutely. People love to do everything with their dogs, and in California,
people
they have surfing competitions and it's like one of my favorite things to watch. The bulldogs on a surfboard. Amazing. Amazing.
Well, I have to tell you, you know, when you look at California or Florida or North Carolina or South Carolina, you see all these dogs on beaches.
Yeah.
And so it drives us crazy
Yeah.
that other than on the east end of Long Island, we can't take our dogs to any beaches, you know.
I guess it's and again, you looked at that and you tried to figure out what the history of this was. But I mean, the most obvious thing is I don't want to step in anything that I didn't that I didn't expect to step in when I take my flip-flops off. Like I
don't go to the beach, Tommy.
That's not fair, Val. You know what? That's not fair. I don't think that's exactly how it is. I mean, you know, children, they let children to go to the beach, but the children don't leave a dirty diaper that I might step in, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we're getting gross. I didn't want to go. Ginny, what do you think? Tell me.
Yeah, so let me be very specific. So in January of 2001, we launched our campaign to get access to New York State beaches on Long Island. New York State manages
New York State. Okay,
New York State. They manage 24,000 acres of parkland on Long Island, more than half of which have shoreline access, and dogs are banned completely from all those beaches. And that's not right. You know, we're taxpayers. We support these beaches with our taxpayer money, and we're not allowed to enjoy access to them at all.
I think, Ginny, you know, I got to interrupt because we're over for a break. So we got to take a little break. But I think all this calls for is the way you and I met, and you and Valerie, I think, had already known each other, but the way it was through a call night. And I'm seeing, as somebody who can see part of the future, like not the whole future, but I can see part of it. And I see us doing a call night and speaking to some of my new friends, my new political friends, and making these connections and saying, hey, we need to look at this. I don't know if this is the right answer, letting dogs run wild, not wild, but run on the beach. No, I know. I'm sorry. We better go to a break. I'm already in trouble. I am so in trouble. I should probably just go back on mute. Look, but no, I think it's a conversation that we need to start having more. And with a little bit of influence that Valerie and I have here, you know, I think it's great to have you on this, because we're creating this platform to have these conversations and really expand and even activate other people in pulling these conversations forward. Talk about pulling conversations forward. We are way over time on a break. Let's take a quick break. We will be right back. Professionals Animal Lover Show. During the break, I'm going to share the website, which is lidog.org. So I'll share that and we'll check that out. Bye.
I am Joseph Franklin McElroy, host of the new podcast, Gateway to the Smokies. It airs on talkradio.nyc every Tuesday night from 6 p.m. to 7. Every episode is dedicated to memorable experiences in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and surrounding areas. This show features experts and locals who will expound upon the richness of culture, history, and adventure that awaits you in the Smokies. Tune in every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 on talkradio.nyc.
Are you passionate about the conversation around racism? Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. TLC, host of the Dismantle Racism Show, which airs every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc. Join me and my amazing guests as we discuss ways to uncover, dismantle, and eradicate racism. That's Thursdays at 11 o'clock a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a small business trying to navigate the COVID-19 related employment laws? Hello, I'm Eric Sauber, employment law, business law attorney, and host of the new radio show, Employment Law Today. On my show, we'll have guests to discuss the common employment law challenges business owners are facing during these trying times. Tune in on Tuesday evenings from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc, now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Your pals are back. All right, this is Pals, and I'm sharing. So for those of you who are listening in listen-only mode, Baldwin Park Dog Run, Massapequa Dog Park, Bay Park down in East Rockaway. I saw Eisenhower on here. I saw Glen Cove up in my neck of the wood, Nickerson down by Lido Beach. So there's a ton Nassau County. When we come back from the next break, I'll talk to you all about some Suffolk County. But if you're only listening or if you're watching, you can go to lidog.org, lidog.org. And we are back with Peggy, Ginny, Valerie, and Tommy. And I got to apologize. I don't mean we want dogs to run wild. I took the words, I moved them all together on that one. This is a responsible situation. But my point before was just that we can do this together. And the more we educate people, the more they can go out and advocate, right? So that's important. So let's get right back into the conversation about what's going on and how this
Can I ask a question?
You can ask a question, sure.
I would like to know, again, I think of Long Beach because that's where I lived. But there's also a lot of bayside water, right? So not the beach, but still water. Why can't they do that? Like, kind of, I think that's a really fair compromise. I'm not saying that, they shouldn't do a beach somewhere too, but what's that?
I said, take it away, Ginny.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we've proposed, to the Office of Parks, New York State Office of Parks, that we've been very clear from the very beginning that we are not asking for access to Jones Beach. We're not asking for access to Robert Moses or any of the big beaches where, thousands of people show up during the summer.
Oceanfront.
Lifeguards and everything. That would not work for anybody.
Right. That's too packed with people as it is. Let's be honest.
Right.
Sometimes you go to Jones Beach in July, forget it.
It'd be bad for the dogs too.
Yeah.
But more importantly, Jones Beach State Park is 2,400 acres. That's a really big park. So even though we're not asking for access to the main swimming beaches or even to the wildlife conservation beaches on the west end of Jones Beach State Park, there are a lot of other shoreline access there where people never swim. They're not allowed to swim, and where there are no wildlife concerns. And like you said, Valerie, the bayside beaches, these are not swimming beaches. The beaches that front onto the Great South Bay, they have nice calm water. People never swim there. Again, they don't have the wildlife concerns. That we have specifically pointed to those beaches and said we think those would be appropriate for people to take their dogs, without interfering with other park users. The other thing I would also say we're asking for is that there are portions of the ocean beaches where people could walk their dogs during the off season. And again, not any place where anybody ever swims, but during the off season where people could walk their dogs off leash, like the Fire Island National Seashore does, that's the National Park Service does, on Fire Island National Seashore. And they do that every, September to March. And the piping plover situation they're doing great. And it's working really well. So
yeah, we can all, work together, but what do they say what's the response to the Bayside access?
Well, we just proposed that. So, we'll have to see what the responses are. I mean, part of it is that, well, we've never allowed it before. So, why should we?
Yeah, but I mean, we know that's no good. That's always like my answer to that is, you ever have a slice of pizza and burn the roof of your mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you probably had another slice of pizza, right? Like, that's not an answer. Like, well, we've always done it this, I don't care. Right? Like, I'm not interested. But like, I want to know, who do we need to get out there to? Because now Valerie is like a proud mama. She's like, oh my God, look at him advocating. No, but like, seriously, like, who do we need to talk to about this? Let's call it out. I mean, you don't have to call them out by name, but are there certain
who did you propose this to?
Okay. So I was going to say, I mean, when we work with some of the towns, I mean, we can work directly with supervisors and elected officials. When you work with some of the park departments, you're working with maybe somebody who maybe is more appointed. They're not as concerned about a taxpayer, somebody who's going to hit a voting booth and vote for them. So some of these, it's just over the years, it's just the way it is. Some things have gotten a little bit more insular or protected, and dogs maybe were were not high on the radar screen at the time, right?
Oh,
So
these
there's
people-
been a huge, like I would say within the past, I could go back as short as only 5 years. There's
Okay.
been a huge cultural change.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't put on a television commercial without seeing a dog on it. A television show,
100%.
a movie, advertisement in the paper. They all now have dogs. Real estate. You don't sell a dog unless it's you don't sell a house unless you see a little dog in the window. I mean, but all of that they're really recent changes. So, and like maybe even the officials have only just gotten a dog and said, hey, they're fun to have around. Let's do this. You don't want to leave, Rover at home. Once upon a time, Rover stayed home. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
But it's been a huge change, and it's been slow, but it's very obvious.
But also, Peggy, these people, these elected officials also need to realize that, animals don't vote, but
they don't
owners,
vote, but people do.
But their owners do. And that was actually, I remember in 2017, I was at a protest about cats. And the signs, a lot of them said, animals don't vote, but we do.
Absolutely.
And so which towns have you proposed the Bay access proposal to, if you don't mind me asking?
Our petition, actually, Valerie, we have not gone to the towns at this point.
Okay.
Our petition is directed at the New York governor.
Oh, wow.
It's
wow. Okay.
It's very specific to New York State. But that's why we talked about a little bit in the beginning. This beach is owned by that. This is this, but this petition is specific to New York State parks.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm feeling this call night thing like a lot. I'd love to help you any way I can, and we will absolutely, we'll cross promote it, or if you want us to create one, we'll send out links. I mean, you guys have an amazing email list, and I thank you so much, Ginny, because you joined our last call night, and then you took the information and sent it out to your email. How many people are on your email list?
We have about 3,000 people on our email list, and our Facebook group, which we also use to promote our campaigns and all of our efforts, has more than 7,500 people. In fact, it might even be closer to 8,000 people now.
And that petition, since we're talking about it, that could be accessed right off the website here, right? So I'm looking at it, and I'll share it on Facebook right now, everyone, so you can check it out. But that petition can be accessed right off of lidog.org. And if I'm not mistaken, it was right on the front page. I think lower, middle front page. Yeah. So I'll share that, please, Val.
Right. And we have had meetings with New York State. So it's a slow process. Nobody should think that, change happens overnight.
Never.
It's very slow, and it takes steps, and people just, they want to put their feet in the water, put their toe in the water and see how it works. And a lot of officials have told us, we've never had so much positive acknowledgement as when we open up a dog park, or as when we open up, So it's kind of interesting. So it's a culture change, and it's them starting to say that rather than getting all the angry phone calls, they had, thank you so much for, opening this, changed our lives. This is great. So it's a learning experience for everybody. You talk about learn and educate. Well, it goes back and forth with the town as well.
Does Governor Hochul have a dog?
I don't know.
We got to find it out. Governor, Governor, I don't know you. I don't want to call you by your first name. Due respect, Governor Kathy Hochul, do you have a dog? We want to know. The people want to know. Well, I want to know. So.
Well, even if she doesn't, I mean, I went a long period of time in my life where I didn't have a dog, and it was because I love animals, and I knew that I couldn't, if you're not home, I was working crazy hours, that's not the right thing for the dog. So that doesn't, preclude her from also caring about this issue. But I will say it's important that these elected officials also recognize that dogs are people too.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Flag on the play. I'm all in. Oh, because you convince me of stuff all the time. That one I gotta call foul. Because dogs are not people, Val.
I
Thank
vehemently
goodness, thank
disagree.
goodness.
We're gonna disagree. I hate this. I hate this phrase, but I guess we'll have to agree to disagree on this one.
I hate that phrase too,
We,
but I'm right.
we got to take a break, but when we take a break, I'm going to share the Suffolk County Dog Parks. How about that on the Facebook for you when we go, and we'll be right back to bring our show to a close and find out how you can get involved with li.org
Yes.
and how you can help be part of the change. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
In a post-COVID world, you may have many unanswered questions regarding your health. Are you looking to live a healthier lifestyle? Do you have a desire to learn more about mental health and enhance your quality of life? Or do you just want to participate in self-understanding and awareness? I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each Thursday, I will tackle these questions and work to enlighten you. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will be frank about health to advocate for all of us.
Calling all pet lovers.
Pet Avengers, assemble!
On the Professionals and Animal Lovers show, we believe the bond between animal lovers is incredibly strong. It mirrors that bond between pets and their owners. Through this program, we come together to learn, educate, and advocate.
Join us live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. at talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Your pals are back in the house, in the attic, everywhere. All right, Gardner Park Dog Run. Want to tell you about that one. Southold Dog Park, Isaac Dog Park, which is out in Calverton, way out there. So look, there's a lot out in Suffolk County too. If you're not listening, or if you are listening and not watching, go to lidog.org and that'll walk you through the parks. I do want to talk about Gardner Park. I'll stop sharing now, but I was out there and I was going to bring it up because I was out there with an organization on Saturday morning, Operation VEST, which the VEST is an acronym for Veterans Ending Suicide Together. And they had a run, but it was the dog tag run. And I'm there and it's all the people, well, the real people, you know, like the human beings are running. And then the dog people, because apparently dogs are people. I'll just call back. You got to listen to the last segment if you missed that one. Then the dogs are running. And I take this video because my partner in crime here, I'm like, dude, I got to show Valerie this. These are all these people with dogs, but it's the dog tag run, really drawing awareness to this tragedy that, you know, veterans, 22 veterans take their own lives every day, which we're addressing that on Philanthropy and Focus and in other channels. But I just call out Gardner Park because it was so many dogs. And as you all were talking about these parks, I'm going, I was just in the park Saturday morning and it was dogs like all over the place. So what I really want to just call out another piece of what you provide so much information. It's not just a list of the parks. It's saying like this one, Mud Creek Dog Park. Caution, this site was previously used for glass recycling and dredge material disposal. Broken glass has been found in the sand. Be mindful, right? Protect your human dogs. I'm going to just give you the business about that, Val, but protect your family member, your animal. And that's great. What a bunch of resources you guys are providing. Right. And you must have like 50 employees and like a tremendous payroll and like huge budget, right? Like, right. No.
Oh yeah.
No, but completely volunteer or a couple of employees. Tell us about it.
This is a 100% volunteer organization, and out of all of those 3,000 here and 7,500 there's very few worker bees. Okay, very, very few. And something that I hear often, because I'll be out talking, with my dog in a park, and people say, why doesn't somebody do this? Why can't we go here? What is it all about? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I mean, I'm working on that, and we're trying to get somebody involved. People need to become involved, and that doesn't mean that does not mean that it takes up 100% of your time.
No,
but it does mean that you find out what's going on, and you know, if it's for dogs, if it's for something else, and you actually get involved. And so that when we do these wonderful, great pack walks and, you know, meetups, and we do things where people have fun with their dogs, it doesn't happen by, you know, clicking your fingers.
No.
People put this together for other people to enjoy.
No doubt.
But part of enjoying it is giving back. I mean, we feel like we're giving back because we have so much fun doing it and we love it. And volunteering is a lot of fun.
No
I mean,
doubt.
it can work, but when you're working with other people, it's fun.
No
And if you're
doubt.
working with other people on a cause that you enjoy, like dogs, and everybody has a dog, and you can go to events when there's 50 dogs or 100 dogs and they all get along. I mean,
well, also it's been proven that pack walks increase adoptions.
So what is a pack walk? Because I don't know. So some other people probably.
Okay, hold on, just hang on just 1 second, because I just wanted to mention this too. We did the anti-puppy mill bill call nights. The bill passed. We were all ecstatic. This is something that a lot of people have been working on for a long time. You know, protests, emails, phone calls, discussions with legislators, etc. I was so exhausted that night. Literally within an hour of announcing that it passed, I started getting comments like, "Can you focus on this now? Can you do this now?" And I was like, "Oh my God, can I have one moment?" You know, I'm like, can I have a glass of champagne?
Can I offer to help you on something that you really are, you know, I'll show you how we did it. Why don't you take up the reins and try to do a little bit on your own?
Yes.
That's human nature. I understand that, but you really, you need, if you're enjoying something, if you see something that you really enjoy, and you can see, the other thing is, yes, it is very busy here, right? It's very crowded. You know, I understand that these parks are well used. The beaches are well used. There's lots of places that aren't so well used, but you really need to respect one another and respect boundaries for one another. And it's very sad how one incident can ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
So if people won't pick up after themselves, if people let their dogs loose and they, you know, tear through
They
a
don't
wild,
do the right thing.
Right.
Ginny, can you explain to Tommy and also everyone else who might not know what a pack walk is?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. So our pack walks are our group on leash walks. They're guided that we do in parks around Long Island once a month. And our pack walks usually attract at least 30 or 40 people. Sometimes as many as 60, you know, people with their on-leash dogs. And I think, you know, people love being with other dog owners who really love their dogs. They love seeing their dogs enjoying being out in nature, because our dogs are, you know, part of nature, and they love it. And also we, you know, we scope out the trails before we take people on these walks, so we know where we're going, which is always nice.
And how to get back.
You know, and it's just it's a lot of fun. I'll tell you, because they're so popular, you know, they, like I said, they attract 40 people regularly. It really kind of drives home to us how much people want access to parks, and it really drives home the importance of our mission to get people access to these public parks, because frankly, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I got to just point something out, because I just shared this on Facebook, but the next pack walk, now that I know what it is Sunday, June 26th, Sands Point Preserve, right? That's accurate information that I'm reading there. Okay, so I know that area. Actually, I don't sleep all that far from that area. And I do not have a dog, but I do have one particular son who likes dogs a lot. I might have to borrow a dog, like my neighbor across the street dog, Barney, his name is, I believe his full name is Captain Barnacle, because they're boaters. And but they call him Barney, which makes sense because why call the animal the name you gave it? Because I named the dog Michelob Light and never called him that. So, but that's another story. That's my issue. But but I think I want to be at that event, and I'm assuming, you know, I can't just come and be like a looky-loo if I don't have a dog, right? I need to bring a dog.
You can come.
Okay.
You know, we'll make special.
But because it's me, or like anybody can come without a dog.
No, you can come.
Okay.
I would say that they are geared for people with dogs.
Got it. All right. Well, we will. I think we can get Barney to go with us because my son would love to probably borrow him for the afternoon. Anyway, we are running out of time. In order, Ginny, Peggy, one last comment each. You got like 10 seconds each. Ginny, you go first.
Yeah, okay, I'll go first. So if people want to support LI Dog, I would ask them to go on our website and click on the join tab so that they can join our email list. And the more people we have on our email list, the stronger we become. And then also I would encourage people to join our Facebook and our meetup groups. They're a great way to become part of the Long Island dog owner community. And the other thing I would say is that we're having a events meeting, volunteer meeting next week on Thursday, the 23rd. If you want to volunteer and help LI Dog, if you want to be a part of our organization, please feel free to come to the meeting. We welcome all newcomers.
Awesome. That was a long 10 seconds. So Peggy, you got anything?
Sorry.
No, I you know, everything that Ginny said. And like I said, just to get back into you, it's fun to volunteer. It's fun to be part of organizations, and it really gets you out of your shell, and it's a lot. It's just a good thing to do for you and your
100%. Totally agree. I love volunteering. Hashtag 60 days of service. Val, say some words because it's something I'm looking for really quick. So talk about what's going on in October, because I need to know. I just shared your email address, Valerie at PAL-show.com. We just put that on Facebook, but tell them what's going on in October while I look what I'm looking for.
Okay, so Tommy and I have decided to book our very first event. We want to make it an annual event. We're going to recognize through honoring, we have several honorees, people in the animal rescue and advocacy space. We're calling it the Compassion Awards, which I love. Like, I can't even emphasize how much I love the name. And it's going to be October 11th at the Refuge at 5:30 p.m. And I hope everyone who's listening will be there.
And for right now, we're about to put the site up. We're about to put the website up. But for now, contact Valerie at PAL-show.com. I put it on Facebook for you. Ginny, thanks for being here. Peggy, thanks for being here. Val.
Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
So cool. So cool. One last thing. We enjoyed having you, and we want to have you back. So we leave you with this. In his total commitment to nonviolence, Gandhi always included the animals, stating the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Make it a great day, everybody. We'll see you next week.
And yay, Gandhi!
Thank you.
Thank you.